Yo, what's up guys, this is Happy Now with another Guild Wars 2 PvP video, and this time I wanted to show you the Burn Guardian. This gameplay is recorded on the off season, something like that, and here I was just talking a little bit about the build, what I'm using, and why you could also swap Stand Your Ground for Purging Flames and therefore use the Consecration trade line to get even additional burning stacks. This is just one of them, but here I show you the one with Stand Your Ground because it is better for you to have stability than playing without stability. And yeah, basically I'm just gonna skip the video a little bit, showing you here the rune and amulet, what I'm using, and also explaining it a little bit. Rune of Balthazar with condition damage, burning duration. As you can see here, it has 10, 20 and 20, which means a 50% longer burning duration and an additional 10% maximum healing and condition damage. As you can see here, I'm having 1225 condition damage, which is like the basic standard one with the highest damage output. And yeah, I showed you Sage Amulet with the healing power, and also Carrion Amulet for higher damage output and less defense. Less healing, but I said no defense. As you can see here, condition damage 1375. If you want to have more healing, you can go with the other one. And the burning duration is how much was it now? I just skipped the what. I also wanted to show you the burning one, something like that. Yeah, let's just start the game because I will show you the build also afterwards. And you can see this here, my Elementalist Tempest is granting us some might stacks, which is nice, and I start here to interrupt the enemy players from getting something going on, but this will be a mistake from my side, of course, but I just wanted to test out if I can burst down someone quickly. And here you can see I getting 1v3'd immediately. I tried a little bit to bait the enemy players a little bit around. The Revenant is immediately chasing me around, which is really hard to encounter. I wait with my interrupt both of them, as you can see it here. This is something interesting. Sometimes you just have to wait until both players are like really close to you to interrupt them, and they were, by the way, duo queuing. And here you see the enemy Revenant just dodged and the warrior is about to hit me, so I go with a knockback immediately and interrupt both of them. Pretty easy task. And here just some auto attacking, dodging the elite of the Revenant, and I'm just dead here, but I just wanted to waste a little bit of their time, and that's basically what I did here really perfectly. As you can see it here, both are getting really low, so if I would have got some ally to help me support, we would have got that easy. And now my team should have normally got the mid cap, which they took like really long, and the enemy warrior is going for a close point. And here I go from the left side of the respawn to get the 1v1 against the warrior. And you can see it here, normally Spellbreaker has the upper hand, but I'm also here just able to outplay him a little bit. What I do here is knock back with a Mobilize, because he already dodged out and used his rush and he's on his second weapon set, and to remove the Mobilize he would have needed to use Shield Bash or something like that. I don't dodge his F1 attack because he was not in my close range, and now I just try hard a little bit because I also failed here. As you can see here, he has Magnetic Wave and the pull on me, and I just throw out my Torch 4, which is really bad for me, but never mind. Keep on attacking him here pretty easily. I'm not looking that much to avoid most of his attacks, and here is where the interesting part comes in. He goes to his Rampage form, which would have been for me like really a good opportunity to burst him because he has no Condi Cleanse here, but I was out of my attacks, and you can see it here I just swapped to my Scepter, and Scepter is not the best to get close ranged. So I dodged the attack, give myself Aegis in case of him blocking me again, and what I do is here, you can see it here, he has already 8 stacks of burning. I just lay down Mace 2 and then go on. I'm getting hit, and now it is really interesting. He immediately interrupts me with his Dagger 3, and I join with a Judge's Intervention and Torch 4 combo, which I fail here somehow. And yeah, he just manages to survive this situation, which was a really close one. And I go back to my close, waiting for him. He tries to join, but I'm getting supported by the Ranger Soul Beast. So I just get the decap here. My Soul Beast even got the kill. Nice. I haven't noticed that while playing. And here we go, the next situation, which is also really interesting. The enemy Soul Beast is attacking here. And my goal is not to try and support my ally here, but to just burst down this guy as fast as possible. And you can see it here, he already died if I would have done a little bit more damage. But I wanted to be not so aggressive. And you can see it here, the 8 stacks of burning pretty easily. And now where you can see stand your ground kicks in, easily stomping enemy players with that. I tried to blind this guy and now I might die here. No, the Tempest saved me, which is really nice. And now you can see the other side of this build, which is so strong, cleaving people. If you cleave, activate Virtue of Justice, F1, and you get it renewed immediately. And now just, yeah, attacking this guy, applying some burning, blinding him with Virtue of Justice, and going on with the next attacks. The same goes here. It's just a, how to say it, easy task, just attacking. You can see this 11 stacks of burning. If the enemy players don't remove the burning, the Burn Guardian is just a deadly weapon. Here I go with the decap, just skipping a little bit because I want to show you some interesting parts. And now you can see it here as well, the Scourge, going with a Torch 4 in, another Torch 4, and he has 11 stacks of burning. Even with his Zan shields, he's not able to sustain that so long. I just auto attack and now activate Virtue F1 and try to interrupt enemy players from getting any kind of support to revive here with my shield. But first bursting of course, and then double CC here on both players again, which is pretty nice, especially if they try to revive. Here again with my mace just auto attacking this guy, going to my sword, and you can see it here again, immediately 9 stacks of burning. So this build is pretty deadly if you manage to land your burning stacks to the enemy players. Of course the downside is that you are really weak compared to what you can get, and here it's also something really interesting. We are double reviving. I go with my F1 blind after the warrior joins close combat, immobilizing the Revenant, and he has no chance to get away here. Again, some nice damage output. Virtue of Justice getting renewed. This is one of my favorite things when I see this happening. And here it is interesting as well, this 1v1. Okay, it was not a 1v1. I thought I had a 1v1 against this guy, but maybe it was only at the beginning. It is interesting what I'm doing here. I just keep the distance, wait for him a little bit. You can see this here, he throws out his full counter, which was bad. He should have waited with that a little bit. And you can see it here, 9 stacks of burning, and he almost died by that. You can see this Spellbreaker, easy task if they don't know how to remove the burning. I don't want to laugh about this guy, by the way. It's just what you can do as a Burning Guardian, an example here. And yeah, the game was not like one of the hardest, but it was still fun to play. And you can see it here. I realized that 2 players are trying to join me. I just try to keep a little bit the distance, just bait the enemy players a little bit around here, going for the Revenant because it's the weakest target, to like to say it, but they can be also strong Revenant players. I'll wait here. I don't want to waste my attacks so fast. He goes to his assassin's form, which means for me I can easily just damage him until he goes for his healing skill. You can see it all already with 2 stacks of burning, how much damage I'm applying to him. He goes for his healing skill a little bit too early, which means for me I can just burst here a little bit, and I'm again missing my Torch 4. Somehow my Torch 4 missed like on every attack, which was really bad. And you can see it here, I'm also using Sigil of Doom for the poison, and poison kicks in right now. So this will also mean that his healing will be decreased by 33%, which is pretty strong. Waiting for him to CC me. He somehow is getting his healing skill up, and now I just had an easy task, just bursting him a little bit here. Don't even try harding. going for the stomp, waiting for his CC, blinding it with F1, and getting it renewed. And you can see it here, I'm already on a rampage. So this game is just to demonstrate you a little bit the Burn Guardian, because I said I will also show you the Burn Guardian with the aggressive type. And here you can see it again, just keeping the distance, waiting for the enemy players. I knew he would have his stun break. After he uses his rush, I immobilize, get him with my burning stacks, 6 stacks of burning. He will have no chance to avoid that. And here again, withstand your ground, easy stomping, and that game was done. What else can I say about this? It is a fun build. Maybe you just try it out on your own. It was a pleasure to show you again some core builds. And yeah, compared to my other with Greatsword, I think that the Greatsword one was a little bit stronger. And you can see it here, I got quite a bit of top stats. Not so much, like not the best, but still. I guess you can get like top stat damage and also kills if you do it right, if you do it properly, of course. And here somewhere, I have to skip it. I show you the build. Sigil of Agility on the sword, for again to burst with a sword 3, applying immediately 8 attacks, which means on every third attack we apply burning. This should be like 3 stacks of burning with an additional attack immediately, which is pretty nice. And of course your torch 4 can be thrown out really fast with quickness. And then Sigil of Battle, because 5 stacks of might, and that's really nice. 5 stacks of might with quickness, 4 stacks of burning, dealing heavy damage, 400 per tick, which is pretty strong. And Sigil of Doom and Sigil of Energy on my second weapon set for additional poison, as I said, to decrease the HP regeneration, and additional condition and energy to have extra dodges. The Carrion Amulet or the Sage Amulet, you can play both of them, I would say. This one has a little bit more power, allowing you also to deal some nice DPS without condition damage. And yeah, Vitality is nice with the highest condition damage output, 1200 additional one. And with some might stacks you have immediately 1500 here. The build is basically the same as on my other Burn Guardian builds. Mitres Boon, Stalwart Defender for the shield, Monk's Focus for the meditation, Unscattered Contender here for the, as I said, extra damage output. Otherwise you can go with the other trait line here if you want to play with Consecrations, but I don't recommend that, only if you really play with it. And on this build I'm not playing, that's why I'm using Unscattered Contender, the best one to use. And Absolute Resolution, and the last one here is Permeating Breath. Virtue of Justice passive triggers more quickly and now burns in an area, which means instead of 5 attacks you need only 3 to trigger a burning, and it will apply AoE burning, so to multiple targets, which is pretty nice. The radius is not so high, but it's meant to be like on your melee attacks or on your scepter. If you hit someone, it will burn also nearby enemies. Then the next is, I just skipped one, Amplified Breath. Burning you inflict deals increased damage. Burning duration applied by virtue of justice passive effect is increased, which means a duration increased by 20% with the rune 50, so we have a 70% longer duration on burning. And of course the damage out that it deals is increased by 15%, which is even nicer. Radiant Fire, every 10 seconds gains Zealot's Flame when you critically hit an enemy. Burning you inflict has increased duration, and your torch skills can reduce recharge. This is just to get the full bursts out, and you can see it here, 1 torch 4 applies 4 stacks of burning and deals heavy damage. It will occur only every 10 seconds, but still more than enough. Right hand strength, critical hit chance with one-handed weapons is increased. Sword skills can reduce recharge. This is basically used for the sword skills to recharge faster, and of course some higher crit chance, so we can trigger this Zealot's Flame a lot more often. And that's just basically it. It is a nice build to play. I still recommend to use my main Dragon Hunter build, and of course you can swap here as I'm showing the runes for some other ones. You can swap and try out the different ones. I'm not trying so many. Basically the Balthazar one and the Flame Legion, those two are like the best to use as I was testing it, something like that. I don't know, as I remembered better said. And that's just basically it. So the build can be now also played with the Rune of Consecration, Here I show it to you. What's the name? Master of Consecrations. Gain reduced recharge and increased duration. Now this one allows you to have even more burst and more damage output, but therefore you lose stand your ground, which is your only stability option. And on all the metas you really need stability, otherwise you can't just even play. We have one stun break but no stability therefore, and that's really hard to play. So I recommend really to take Master of Consecrations only if you are really an advanced player on the Guardian. Otherwise don't try it out. And yeah, that's just basically it. The Purging Flames, what it does is, by the way, just to explain it, it has 35 seconds cooldown with the Master of Consecrations 28. It applies 2 stacks of burning for almost 14 seconds, which is nice. And condition duration is reduced by 33% if you stay within the radius of this Purging Flames ring. And then we have also 3 conditions removed for you and nearby allies. So this is really nice supportive skill against Condi comps, but otherwise it is, yeah, not the best to use, by the way. And that's just basically it. As you can see it here, the ring, it has a nice field, deals also additional burning if the enemy stay within it, I guess, but I'm not so sure, or it only hits still burning if you hit an enemy player with that. And so that was just basically it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions, of course, feel free to ask me under this video, or as always, in game. A lot of you just write me emails. I answer within like 2-3 days most of the times, also within 1 day, by the way. So that was Happy No, the Burn Guardian. I hope you enjoyed this video again with the pause and go system. And yes, I see you in my next videos. Have a good one, guys. Bye bye all. Thanks for watching.